So again, on behalf of the Iowa Intermediary Network, welcome to Build University. Today we are on location with Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They've been serving the Des Moines area since 1999, and they're allowing us an inside glimpse of the Golden Rule University Training Center. So thank you again for your hospitality and letting us join in. So the training center helps take apprentices to junior technicians, and then from junior technicians to senior technicians. So again, if you have questions throughout the job site tour today, please utilize the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So for now, we're going to head on over to the Golden Rule Training Center. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. As she had said, we're located in Grimes, Iowa. Been doing this for 20 plus years. My name is Bo Stormer, and I am the plumbing service manager here. So I have the opportunity every week to train individuals like yourself and watch them, grow from not knowing a lot about plumbing or knowing, working their way up and becoming a very successful individual in the trade. We also offer HVAC here as well, so working with heating equipment, air conditioning equipment, and so on. I've been doing this, I've been here for, 9 years already. I was probably like a lot of you right now, sitting in a classroom at one point in time, and I really didn't know where I wanted to go with my career. I worked in the Fairway warehouse for quite some time. And I was working nights, and it really wasn't working out. And I had a family friend that had approached me about getting into the trades. And I've got to say that it was the best decision that I ever made. I got a call about 2 weeks later from that day I was approached to jump on board here at Golden Rule. And it's the best decision I've ever made. So like I said, it's awesome to be able to train people like you every day and see people succeed. And I strongly encourage questions here. I didn't have a ton of time to prepare, so I'm just going to kind of roll through the what I have at the tip of my tongue, and hopefully you guys gain some great information from that. So a lot of questions I get asked in a lot of my interviews, how much can you make? How much money can you make? We start individuals out between $14 and $16 an hour. And you move your way up, you will be, anywhere between $30 and $40 as a raw hourly wage. And then we have incentives as well for, technicians that go above and beyond and do exceptional work. So you can make a very good living. Over here to my right, there is the $100,000 service tech ladder. You can kind of take a look at that. It kind of gives you a step-by-step idea of where you can be within your first 5 to 6 years of employment. So there's some really good stuff there. I feel like some people have a bad name for the trades for whatever reason, but it's truly amazing. Without the trades, what I want you guys to understand is that we would be a third world country. And there's a lot of volume in that. Without electricity, without heating and air, and without plumbing, we'd have a mess. So it's in strong need, and I encourage every one of you to continue on the journey and learn more about it. And then kind of working further over here, we have our Golden Rule proven process. And this is a customer service process that we use in the home for every service call that we run, so that we can be sure that we are being consistent. We're evaluating all of the customers' concerns, and we're providing them with all of the options they would need to take care of their existing concern. And then with their approval, we always try to take care of the work the same day. And then we always promise our customers that we're going to deliver a 5-star experience. So that's kind of like the process. I'll kind of dive into a little bit about what a technician's day looks like. Our technicians show up here at 7 o'clock every morning. One of the privileges they get is as a full-time service technician, you get to drive your van home. So that's one of the perks that we provide here at Golden Rule. So those guys get here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Their responsibility is to make sure that truck is clean. Also that it is fully stocked so that we can efficiently take care of our customers. And then the internal process, we get the phone calls from the customers, and then they go to a dispatch board, which then the dispatchers would assign calls to these technicians. And they would go out and take care of the concerns that they have in the field and offer, you know, a high level of customer service and quality work. And these individuals, our technicians, they run anywhere between 1 and 5 jobs a day. And we had the opportunity this morning to pull a van in, and I'd like to walk over and take a look at that so you guys can kind of see what we do with our vans.
Okay, go ahead.
All righty. So here's one of our service trucks. This is actually a brand new one. So we stock these vans with the most common parts that we use in the field. And we try to keep up on that so that we can be efficient, like I said, and on our proven process, we want to take care of them same day. Well, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of those repairs same day if we didn't have them on the truck. So we try to stock our trucks with the right material. But this is kind of the back of the truck. You can get a little bit closer there and take a look at that. This is not stocked yet, as you can see. But what you would see is, you know, a lot of PVC fittings, copper fittings, gas fittings, a few faucets, a toilet, a water heater, and some things like that. And then the technicians all carry tools as well. So that's what you would find in the van. I was asked to give you an idea of what the jobs might look like. The 1 to 5 jobs they run per day. It could be anything from a minor faucet repair all the way up to a whole home repipe, like taking all of the existing pipes out of the house and replacing them with modernized piping, or water heater replacements, toilet replacements, toilet rebuilds, and things like that. If you guys have any questions, like I said, I encourage you to ask them. I should have the answer. So I'm going to turn it over to you and see if we have any questions that anyone has at this point.
Thank you so much.
We can head back.
We actually have had more questions if we could see a little better inside the van. Is that a possibility? We
The
could.
lights in the back.
Brandon's our great videographer for today, and I don't if we can get him inside so the students can see a little bit better inside. We've had a question if we could see further in there.
Oh, no, that's tight.
So like you said, it's not stocked right now, but once it is stocked, there'd be a lot of supply, which is an expense to any company. So how much inventory would you keep in that van?
When you say how much, from a dollar perspective?
Sure, yeah, or just quantity.
Our vans will stock anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 of material on each one.
And I heard you mention
from a quantity perspective. Say that again.
Go ahead with quantity. We've had a question about copper piping.
Okay. Quantity wise, each one of these shelves is kind of designed for like on our vans, the front shelf towards behind the driver's seat, you would find a lot of PVC fittings, different quantities just based off of how often, like I said, we see that material being used each day. So we've got that pretty fine tuned at this point, but you know, two to four fittings of each PVC fitting that would commonly be used is something that we would probably stock for quantity wise. Yeah. So Yeah, you can step on down. Right here, you guys see these lockers. These lockers here that's where our warehouse puts the parts into their boxes. That way, any material they're using off of their truck gets stocked next day. And those technicians, like I said, show up at 7 in the morning, and they will restock their vans with the material that was put in their box from the warehouse supervisor. So there's a tote there in each one of them. And it looks like most of our technicians did their job and got all their parts this morning, so that's good. Here's some material for one of the HVAC vans that we have. There's just some material that they will stock when they come in here, when they next come in here.
Can we see that back area?
Yeah, so behind these lockers, we try to stock, like I had said, the most common fittings that we use. And behind these lockers here is just kind of our cage, our warehouse. Right now it's closed up because the gentleman is not in there right now, and we keep that locked for a certain reason, to keep inventory accurate and up to snuff. So, and you said you had a question on copper as well. We can head back over if you'd like.
Yes, a question came through. Do you utilize copper as much now, or have you transitioned to other materials?
Great
because
question.
of the expense?
Yeah, great question. We still use quite a bit of copper. Copper is required in some areas, so we still use copper. But from a productivity and a cost standpoint, we use a lot more PEX for water piping now. It's for lack of a better term, a plastic-like material that uses less fittings, more durable, lasts a lot longer. So for many reasons, we use a lot more PEX nowadays. But like I said, copper is still used. It is still required in certain areas.
And we've talked with the students about codes that you have to be up to code on different projects. And so would you say that copper meets code, or how would you explain that?
Yeah, copper is going to meet the code. A lot of water piping, if you were to look in the code book, it's going to be a real specific about where it needs to be used, where it doesn't need to be used. Copper, yeah, I mean, to answer the question, I think all piping will meet code. There's certain scenarios, like I said, I'll give you one example. On top of a water heater, if you guys were to go home this evening, you should see 18 inches of copper on top of your water heater. If your home is piped in PEX, which is, like I said, the plastic-like material for your water lines, you would find that, or by the code, there should be 18 inches of copper on top of your water heater.
Should we show?
That I can show you. So if you look on top of your water heater, you should see 18 inches of developed length of pipe on top of your water heater before you turn to any other type of material. Did I answer your question?
Yes, fantastic. Now,
All right.
also looking through your website and looking at job descriptions, we see a lot of customer service being one of those key roles. So I'm going to turn it over to Terry to follow up with you on questions related to customer service.
Awesome.
So we just kind of talked with the students before you hopped on about troubleshooting. So going in and diagnosing the issues that you have, explaining to the client, providing those solutions, and then repairing. Why is the ability to troubleshoot such a need in your industry?
Certainly with being in service, you really got to be at the top of your game. Because you're going to run into things quite frequently that maybe you've never seen. And if you don't have the ability to understand how something works, then I wouldn't say that service might not, it might not be the right fit for you. There's other areas of plumbing that you can get into, like install or new construction, which are great as well. We use service, but you've got to be able to understand how things work, how things get pulled apart. So if you're a person that likes to, for example, with a kitchen faucet, how the mechanics work inside of that so it can deliver hot or cold water through the spout, then service would be the route for you if you like to take things apart like that, and figure out why they don't work. I think that would be the route you want to go as service. I don't know if I answered your question 100% there, though.
All right. So when the plumbers get your listing of what their, 1 to 5 different jobs, you supply them that materials. It's so important that they know what to grab, what works, what doesn't work, correct? And are they ever faced with that dilemma of, okay, I can't fix this, and what is the time frame, that your company is allowing to say, this is a harder job, we're going to come back, those troubleshooting type of abilities for that person to realize this is a little bit bigger than what we signed up for or what the initial diagnosis was.
Gotcha. Okay. So the technician goes to the job and we assign one job at a time. That way they can take care of each customer with the same amount of, customer service. If we assign 3, 4, 5 jobs at one time, we might rush through them and they're not going to get the experience that they deserve. So one call at a time, the technician goes there, and let's just say we experience this probably once a day, twice a day with the amount of calls that we run. But if it's 2021, and what's awesome is we have great resources, like we're doing virtual stuff right here. And our technicians have the ability to FaceTime myself or any supervisors that we have to really tackle what issue they might be having inside of the home at that time. But typically we can solve it virtually because it's 2021, which is pretty awesome. So if I can't make it there or the supervisor can't make it there, then FaceTime works excellent to troubleshoot the concern that they're trying to work through, and get that job taken care of for that customer.
And that's a great thing too, to be able to troubleshoot, virtually, which is a great thing for your company and your technicians to be able to really work together. When you talked about each individual gets their own van, can you talk about how important it is to have a valid driver's license?
Absolutely. It's, well, you wouldn't be employed here if you didn't. And I like to brag about what we offer. It's biased, but, and I'm partial to the company because I've been here since day one of my plumbing career. But if you want a great opportunity, be a responsible individual, and do whatever it takes to have that driver's license. Don't put yourself in a pinch, because the service industry, you're going to have a valid driver's license to get into the service industry. And if you're a money-driven individual, service is where you're going to want to be. And without that, unfortunately, you may struggle to find employment anywhere without a driver's license, because we're not working in-house here. We are working outside of the building. So we're going to have to be able to go to remote locations to work on, residential homes throughout the metro. And the only way to, certainly walking is not very efficient. So we use cars, so need to have that license.
And you mentioned that each technician has their own van. So is it particular when you talk about Golden Rule, their heating, plumbing, cooling, does each technician then have if they're a heating van, is that, filled with that product, or is it a combination that your technicians are trained in all of the different areas?
Good question. We used to be cross-trained. Now we don't do it so much anymore because I think it can be distracting. It's good to stick to one thing and get very, very good at it versus be be 50% good at two things. It's better to be 100% good at one thing. So our technicians that, let's say all of our plumbers, they have only plumbing material on their truck. HVAC guys, the guys that do the heating and air, they have only heating and air equipment on their truck.
Awesome. So let's talk about your business name, Golden Rule. And for those that maybe aren't familiar with the meaning of that, it's to treat others the way you would want to be treated. I noticed on your website that you provide 24/7 customer service. So why is that important in the plumbing profession?
Well, we're at the, our customers are what make our world go round. And we need to be there for them. At the snap of a finger, really. And it's our niche at Golden Rule that we have the fastest response time. And I would say we live by that every single day of the week, whether it's a Saturday, a Sunday, Monday through Friday, it doesn't matter. We want to be the first one there. And yeah, Golden Rule, we obey the rules to live by. What's pretty awesome about the company, yes, treat others as you would want to be treated, but we also follow the rules. The rules are respect, understanding, loyalty, expertise, and serve. And we do quarterly reviews with all of our employees to be sure that we're walking that line, so that we're all on the same beat. Everyone's being respected. Everyone understands, and that's how you create, your loyalty. It's how you demonstrate expertise, and then you're able to follow it up with the serve to the customer.
What are your words of advice or your marketing to young students today? How do you get them interested in a career as a plumber or in the plumbing profession?
Great question. Trying to think if I was me 12 years ago, what advice I would give myself. I would say to not be, I know that you guys aren't local, but find a local company. I would say to find out if you think it's something that you might enjoy. Any companies like us, we'll bring it for a day or 2 days or 3 days. I would encourage you to go out and see if there's a company in town or nearby you that would be willing to take you under their wing for 1 to 3 days and ride in a truck and see if it's something that you think you might enjoy.
All right, and I'm gonna have you repeat that. Well, there was a little bit of a microphone issue. We didn't catch all of that, but the main theme being find a business that you want to learn more information about and kind of maybe even do a job shadow to kind of see if that's a profession that you would like to pursue. Did I capture all that correctly?
Yes, exactly. I think it's a good idea to maybe ride in a van for 1, 2, 3 days and see if it's something that you might enjoy.
Students, if you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom. We'd be glad to get those answered for you today. Again, we are on location at the Golden Rule University Training Center in Grimes. We're learning more about the plumbing profession. So we'll give you just a quick second if you have any last minute closing questions before we conclude today's event. Again, thank you again for Golden Rule and Iowa Skilled Trades for being great partners with us today and allowing us the opportunity to see the plumbing profession and learn more about it and have the exciting opportunity to become a plumber if that profession is your pathway. So if you've missed previous Build University events, make sure you check out the Iowa Intermediary Network website, which is iowain.org. You can capture those recordings. Today's event has been recorded and it'll be put there as well. We also do have some upcoming webinars, so make sure you look at those and register for those interests, as well as Build University continues again next month. So make sure you check out the iowain.org website so you can check out those opportunities. It doesn't appear we've had any last minute questions. Golden Rule, one final shout out. Why should students become a plumber?
Well, you can see the smile on my face, right? I'm a very happy individual. A company, aside from just Golden Rule, but plumbing, you're able to just help. You're able to help a lot of people in your community, whether it be personally or professionally. And it's truly a great skill. And I think one thing that I'm real proud to say is, like I said, without plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, we would be a third world country. So there's a lot of gravity in that statement. And yeah, if you want to be successful and learn a skilled trade, I highly encourage any trade, not just plumbing. I do plumbing myself, but they're all good. They're all educational, and you can meet some really great people while doing it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Golden Rule for hosting us today. Thank you to our attendees for participating. We hope you will explore the plumbing profession even more. It's a great, noble profession with great earning potential and very high in need demand, especially in the state of Iowa. So definitely check out iowasKilledTrades.com. They've been a great partner for us, again, helping with us today. So thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to attending future Build University series. Thank you.
Thank you.